Hi, and welcome everybody back to the first intuitive guidance session with Tor for 2026. Welcome, Brownie. Brownie, I've known you for so long and I can't
Briny.
even pronounce your name. Briny, and I can't pronounce your name correctly because I was like, yeah, Brownie. Say it again.
But Briny, no,
Briny.
absolutely. Yeah.
Because
No,
I think,
I was going to say, I've gotten so many pronunciations over the year. I get to a point where I'm very relaxed about it.
I am also very relaxed about my name because people are like Thor, Tor. Like it's very, yeah, people, I'm also very relaxed about it. So I get it. But because I actually think I have a tendency to call you Bry.
Yeah, I get some shortened versions of my names, which it depends on the person who's saying it. I'm usually
Yeah.
okay with it. But if it's someone I don't know, I'm not totally okay with it.
It's so funny because I have another friend with the same name as you, and she's exactly the same. If it's somebody
Mm,
she doesn't know, she doesn't like it. But if it's somebody she does know, then it's fine.
yeah.
Yeah, how interesting.
Yeah, I get
Anyway, welcome. I totally botched that introduction. I will not do it again because this is just a part of being
that.
human.
Exactly.
Well, welcome to the first intuitive guidance for 2026. In this session, I will be doing an intuitive tarot reading. So in terms of your reading, Bri, would you like an open reading, or do you have a question, an intention? Like, is there something specific you would like us to dig into? For example, themes for 2026? Like, it's obviously your reading, so it's entirely up to you. What would you like us to do?
I'm really open, to be honest. I feel like I know everyone's been talking about the astrology coming into the new year and all of that. And
Mm.
actually, I feel good about it. So I'm just open to whatever comes in. So I'll leave it in your capable hands.
Yeah, because it's really interesting astrologically, isn't it? Because my understanding, I mean, I'm not an astrologer, and I had a natal chart reading just before the new year. But from what she said, it sounds like four generational planets are moving in 2026, which apparently in everybody's lives are going to create large shifts, obviously, depending on what your star sign is and when your birthday is and all that kind of stuff. But it's all moving houses and moving signs, basically. So that's quite interesting because I'm also guessing we're sort of around the similar age, which probably means that some of it might be quite similar, basically.
Yeah. And I think I'm coming into my rebranding at my 39 plus 1 year. But, usually there's 9
Right.
or 10 year cycles. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm on board with that as well. So I'm just all of the good things that I've been reading at the moment, I'm just taking
Yeah,
on
yeah.
board.
Yeah, yeah, because we're also coming into a number 1 year, right? Aren't we? I think we're coming into a number
Mm.
1 year, I think,
Yeah,
yeah. And
number 1 year.
also
Yeah.
also the fire horse in
Yep, year of the horse.
Chinese.
Yeah.
Yeah. What sign are you in? Because I know your star sign. What sign are you in the Chinese zodiac? Do you know?
Um, yeah, I'm a tiger.
Love that.
I know. Yeah.
I'm
So,
so jealous. That's amazing.
what are you?
I'm a ram,
Oh, well, it's all
like a
right.
goat,
It's
like
not
a
as cool.
goat.
It's not as cool as a tiger. Let's be
It is
honest.
definitely. I mean, at least I'm a golden ram. At least I'm a
Yeah.
golden ram. That's at
Yeah.
least I got the gold. I mean, that's so cool. Do you know what kind of tiger you are?
No, didn't realize there were different ones.
Yeah, because it will be. I think it will be not obviously, but I think yeah, it will be one of the like earth, water, metal, fire,
Okay.
and it will because obviously it's the fire horse.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
and metal is gold. So
Yeah.
it'll be
Okay.
something. It will be something of that nature, basically.
Yeah, I'll have to look it
Interesting.
up. Yeah.
You'll have to look it up. How
Mm.
interesting. Okay, well, let's just open and see what the tarot wants to bring forward for you in this moment. I always open with saying, obviously, anything I say today is just advice and guidance. The future is not set in stone, and at the end of the day, you still have to make all of your own decisions, you know? And I always say, please don't make any life altering decisions just as we turn off. It's like sit with it, ground, be with the experience, and then take it from there. I mean, this is an interesting, very strong pull here for you, I think. As you well know, there's absolutely nothing wrong with getting the death card. So we have the death card here, which sort of archetypally, of course, not of course, but as you may or may not know, most often speaks to death and rebirth in a more like a personal transformation kind of energy, which tells me that the energy, one of the energies that are around you right now is an energy of change around you, which tells me either recently or coming up, there's certainly going to be some change on the horizon. And I do think it does feel to me, looking at this other card here, that at least career wise, I think that's going to be good. You know, it might feel unnerving at the moment, but I think career wise, over time, this change is going to be healthy. The reason why I'm saying that is that we have the Nine of Pentacles over here. In my mind, and in my experience, the Nine of Pentacles most often speaks to, first of all, it's like financial independence acquired after like hard work, right? Really, really hard. We've been working really, really hard, and that reward, that financial independence, is on the horizon, because as you can see, she is like tending to her grapes as she's standing there. There's a female, so it has that sort of kind of female energy to it, even though Pentacles is an earth sign, which seems more masculine. It is interesting though, because we do have two reversals here. And so this card is the Six of Cups. And as you can see, these two cards, these two young looking figures are sitting there really enjoying each other's company. But of course, it is reversed. And I think what that tells me in this moment is that perhaps there's been some relationships like friendships, colleagues, other people that you in the past have felt that you could rely upon. And with that being reversed, that perhaps even feels like, I'm going to use the word betrayal, which feels really strong, but I'm going to
No,
use the
you're
word.
spot on.
It feels really strong, right? And yeah, it just feels like disappointment and betrayal, like something that's felt really comfortable and really safe, no longer do so because somebody did something that they probably shouldn't have done, you know, in many ways, and or something similar. Um, it is interesting though, because I was talking about, and I still think this to be accurate, with the sense of like the Nine of Pentacles making a change. Well, financial independence, reward, and the Death card creating change. Well, how I often, obviously, for most of us, death is not something that we choose, but I find that a Death card within a tarot deck is it's like an energy of, it's like I've had enough and I'm now going to make a change, because it's just, but it feels very, to me, the Death card is an active energy and not a passive energy, I would say. The last card that I have pulled is the Seven of Wands, but it's also reversed, right? And upright, the Seven of Wands has an energy of like, you are fighting the good fight, you have the energy, you're doing all the things right, you just gotta keep on fighting. However, this card is reversed, right? And I think in this context, thinking about that betrayal and that change, there's perhaps a feeling within you where it's like, is all of this work leading anywhere? Why do I even bother? You know, am I feeling valued? Am I feeling recognized? Am I feeling like the effort I am putting in is contributing to something bigger? That's the feeling that I am getting from these polls. And I think that it's true and untrue at the same time, because I think that perhaps in the environment that you are right now, it might not feel like that any longer. But I think the positive takeaway is that all the hard work that you have put in so far will most likely be like a springboard to something else, which is, the death card, which is creating that change, right? The change is like, you have to take the risk, basically. I think I have a feeling there's a bit of risk involved in this death card. I don't usually feel risk, but I feel a bit of there's a feeling of leap of faith here, faith in here somewhere. We just have to go, okay, fuck, I'm doing it, basically. And what do I think the timeline is on this death card? Well, I think, because we have the 6, we have the 9, and we have the 7. Well, I feel this energy cycle that you've just stepped into is probably going to last for. It feels to me like it's going to last for another 9 months. I think there's an energy cycle that you're currently in, which is lasting around 9 months. And like the energy of that will culminate, or like the cycle will end in that 9-month period. But I feel like, obviously, not obviously, but the 6th and the 7th month will be really pivotal. So that's obviously June and July will be important months in that time period. So I think that's something to look out for. And yeah, I mean, I just kept on rambling without asking if any of that made sense. Just any of that makes sense.
Yes, a lot of head nodding. Obviously, you're always spot on as per usual. I actually pulled the death card for myself last
Did you?
week. Yes, an oracle
I
card.
love that.
Not this, we don't have the same deck, of course, but a different deck from Australia. But I suppose the background to this is that I went for a promotion at work at the end of last year, found out I didn't get it. Obviously quite disappointing, but I think the person who got it doesn't deserve to get it, and it's not because I'm bitter about not getting it, but I think I have a really good sense of people when I meet them, and work speaks for itself. And I had a very honest conversation with my head of our team on Friday, where I basically said that I had a really busy year with work last year, and I am just personally always a giver. I always go above and beyond. That's just my nature, but I'm not doing it anymore. Like I'm being overlooked. I'm being undervalued, as you said. And
which is this one, it's this, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I'm just not, the work that I do, as you know, requires a lot of out of hours work and going above and beyond, which is the job. And, I don't mind doing it if I'm recognized, but I just feel like, oh, Bryony will do it because she's that type of person, don't really think about it. And, I'm not usually a massive resolution maker, just because I feel like sometimes I don't want to set myself up for failure, but I'm in a totally different, as you say, the energy this year for me is like I'm very clear on putting in boundaries between myself and work. And I wrote down that I wanted to get a new job by June 2026. So that would relate to the 6 and the 7 number.
Yeah.
I think I just need to be real. Like I'm not just going, I'm not just leaving because I'm annoyed and, decision can go my way, but like, I do want to be really strategic and hopefully that timing will work out. And actually you said by the end, this energy will happen, will lead on until the 9th month, which is my birthday. So my birthday's in
Oh yeah, I
September.
totally forgot that, but that's obviously true. It's around your birthday, isn't it?
Yeah. So like, I feel like, like me being underestimated and like, all this sort of stuff is like, it's just not happening. And I'm a very diplomatic person. I don't have any fire signs in like my major signs, but like, oh, have people known? People have known. And like, because that's what I'm like, I'm very diplomatic and I'm resilient. And then like a flip will switch, something will switch. It's like the straw, as I said to my boss, it's the straw that has broken the camel's back. So I'm like, you know, like
Yeah.
don't poke the bear at the moment, because the bear is speaking up and telling its truth, and people are not used to it.
Good for you. I'm so pleased to hear it
Yes,
because
I'm
obviously,
feeling very empowered. I'm like, I don't think I
because
can
obviously
swear on this,
I'm.
but if I could, I would.
You can swear as much as you like. I just said
Okay.
fuck earlier. So,
Okay.
and obviously I'm a Leo, so as you know, well knows, it's like full of fire all the time, you know, which
Yes.
is funny.
And this is
What
very
is your
unusual, like usual for me.
what is your moon and rising again?
It's Aquarius and Taurus.
Ah, yeah. Which also, yeah, right, exactly. Aquarius, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because my moon is Aquarius. My moon is Aquarius. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
So,
the adventure, like, you know, because Virgos are very much like, oh, I'm a planner, I'm a sign. And I think it's the Aquarius that comes in. I'm like, I want to have some fun. I want to do something that no one else does. Like, you know.
mm, yeah. No, I think the Aquarius is probably what's led me to this job, basically.
Mm.
So, yeah. I also have this other deck, which I'm going to pull for you, which is called the Inner Compass deck. Do you know it?
No, I don't think I do.
So this is the Inner Compass deck, which I also really like. And on this deck, there's just a word, and so perhaps this is a word. And what's really interesting, what happened to me over Christmas, is that I pulled two cards from this deck on the 31st of Jan, and I pulled just be and compassion. I was like, those cards are so boring. That is not what I wanted. Anyway, obviously the spirits were like, he is not listening. So I ran, and then I ran two more workshops. So I ran a workshop on the 31st and on the 1st. On the 31st at the workshop, I pulled just be again.
Oh,
And on the
no.
1st, I pulled compassion again.
Oh,
So the spirits were like, he is not listening. He needs to be told twice,
yeah.
which I think is hilarious. So I'm going to pull you a card from this deck. 'Cause it's a bit like an oracle card-esque, you know. Okay. What words do we want to give? Oh, that's interesting. What do we think this means? That is not what I expected. But so the card that we pulled for you is teamwork. So what does teamwork mean? How does that resonate with you, Rania, at this time?
I think because I was such a team player and I would always go above and beyond, especially to our senior management group, and I've actually really
Mm,
taken like a conscious step back from that. Um,
mm,
so I don't know if that means that like I just got to pull my big girl pants on and like get back into it, but there is a bit of me, yeah, and that comes with the boundary thing that I did
mm,
want to like put in.
But I think there's something about, because it's interesting, because on this card there is a triangle with a flower inside it, and of course a triangle in my respect on this card, and it's just as I looked at it, and you said the word boundary, right? Is that there's a boundary, and the flower is growing inside that boundary, and so I think that perhaps what then it's saying is that what you need to be is intentional with your teamwork, right? It's like, which is exactly what you're doing, right? And through that intentional teamwork and setting those boundaries, that gives you space to blossom, but you know exactly what you know exactly what you can give and can't give,
Mhm.
basically. I think that's perhaps then what this card is speaking to. So I'm just
Yeah, I
gonna
like that
pull,
explanation. Yeah.
yeah, I'm just gonna pull two more tarot cards and see what shows up for us as a parting message. What more does Bryony need to know? I love how I'm like switching between how I pronounce your name and the length of the name, and just like all over the place.
It's a free for all. It's okay.
It's all right.
Only for you.
So thank you. Appreciate it. All right. let's see what the card has to say. Okay. Okay. Um, so the two cards that I have pulled for you, I have pulled the Hierophant, the Pope, and also the Five of Pentacles. Starting with the Pope, the Hierophant. For some reason, very often this card to me, I mean, it speaks a lot to like structure, commitment, discipline, but I also so often it speaks to like deeper learning and higher education. And I don't know if you've thought about taking on some courses or doing some further training or just expanding your mind in a more kind of intellectually structured way. But that might be something that you want to think about as you are now going to create some more work-life balance, right? There might be some space for you to do some deeper learning in 2026 if this is something that you haven't thought about. Sometimes it's about, like joining a spiritual community because there's a very spiritual energy behind this card. As you can see, there's a man and the woman and the archway and the gateway. And inside that gateway is like the cosmos. There's a shooting star. There's like incense. So there's loads of mystical knowledge within this card. So it might even be that this year you decide to take on, and I mean, I obviously know that this is something that you are interested in, but perhaps it's a year where you take your own sort of spiritual learning to the next level. I think that could be something that you could think about for 2026. What do I think the Five of Pentacles means in this space? I think, of course, um, when we decide to perhaps leave our current job and step into the next one, we worry about like the financial predictability of that, right? And I think that what this card is trying to say is that even if it feels like you're not supported, you are supported, right? I think that's often what the Five of Pentacles speaks to, because there's this sort of poor looking woman with her child there, and then there's a sort of churchy thing looking in the background. And I think that in this kind of situation, it's also not to be afraid or sort of asking for help, basically. If at any point you're feeling unstable, that's not a word, unstable, it's about asking for extra support during those transitions of change, basically. I think that's what it's very much speaking to. I don't think it has anything to do with your financial future because we have the Nine of Pentacles over here. I think it's more about perhaps how that transitional period might feel, because that will obviously bring up loads of, not loads, but it most likely will bring up lots of different feelings of like being enough and not having support. And so, yeah, I think it's really important for you during those that transitional period that you ask for some extra support, basically, from people that you trust, and not being
Yeah,
afraid
no,
of
that
that.
yeah, I think I don't know if they always say it's a typical Virgo trait, whether it is or not, but yeah, I don't generally like asking for help. I'm sure we all think we can do it by ourselves, and people have got friends or family, whatever it is, everyone's got something going on, right? So it's just, yeah, keeping that in mind. But I do have like a very good circle of friends who, yeah, as you say, like I do trust them, and, am very open with them. So that's all, just keeping that in mind.
Yeah. Have you thought about doing any deeper spiritual learning in 2026? Has that been on the bingo card?
Um, no, not specifically, but like, yeah, very, very much. Like I said, I think this year I'm just very open to whatever
Mm.
comes, and also being, as you say, like being proactive about it, which is like a
Mm.
different mindset. I don't
Mm.
think I would probably do any more professional qualifications, if that makes sense.
Mm.
Like,
Sure.
from a like higher education perspective, if there were like other small courses, like, you know, I would be open to them. But I think, yeah, I think you just need to be open, also like have the make sure you make the time for it, because it's easy to say, oh, I'm busy, or, you
Mm,
know, let's do this or that. But it's actually, yeah, again, comes back to the boundary thing, right?
mm. And making a time for it. No, precisely.
Yeah.
Exactly. I like that. So yeah, I think if it comes towards you this year,
Mm.
be open to it, basically.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts? Any final questions?
No, I can't think of anything. Obviously, you just hit that park from the start. So that was kind of that was kind of the main thing on my mind, but just wanted to see, well,
Sure.
what would come in.
Sure, sure, sure. Well, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you everybody for listening. If you have any questions, of course, feel free to leave that in the comment section below. And if you want to book in a more personalized reading with me, you can find the details for that in the description below. Thank you so much.